at Everwise School Field on the east side of South Bend. This great facility has played host to state championship football and soccer games in the past. And tonight it plays host to boys lacrosse as the Penn Kingsmen take on the top-ranked South Bend Bears on this edition of the 46th Game of the Week. Hey, there you are. Where you been? It's been about a month. Chuck Freeby, Angelo DiCarlo, great to have you with us as we kick off this 7-week spring showcase on TV 46. And we do it with an event familiar to us because we had these two teams last year, Anj. Penn won that game by a count of 6-3, and Pete Gillen once again has another defensive-minded team.
Absolutely. They lose a Division I bound goalie. They've had to replace him. Brady Irish doing a good job early on in the season in net, but their defense really sparks their offense. They're very good in the transition game, and that's been one of their strengths. But the only problem is they've only played 3 games so far this season as opposed to 9 for South Bend. So we'll see if that plays a factor in this game in terms of the experience South Bend's been able to develop this year.
And in those 9 games for the South Bend Bears, they've been in double digits in 7 of them. Kane Hoy has an offensive juggernaut this year.
It's amazing because they had so many great offensive players that graduated from last year's team. And yet he has 4 or 5 really good scores this year, and a bunch of them are really young. You're talking about freshmen and sophomores that are contributing in a big way. So they're hoping that is going to happen in a big way here tonight under the lights on TV 46 for the second year in a row.
South Bend is the home of the number 1 ranked men's college lacrosse team, the number 1 ranked women's college lacrosse team, and the number 1 ranked club lacrosse team in the state. But Penn has something to say about that. We'll check it all out as we get you ready for this one with our keys to win, and it comes your way next on the 46th Game of the Week.
This is the WHME TV 46 High School Spring Game of the Week, brought to you by Phil's Heating, Tire Rack, Reliance, Health Markets Tony Letcher, Crown Trophy, HealthLink, Imagineering Finishing Technologies, Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, Purdue Northwest College of Nursing, Basney Honda, and Ben's Soft Pretzels. Also brought to you by
This edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Tire Rack. TireRack.com is the way tire buying should be. Glorious night at Everwise School Field in South Bend. Very windy, a little cool, but otherwise perfect for lacrosse as we invite you into the Reliance broadcast booth. Reliance, design, build, renovate. Let's get you ready for this one between Penn and the South Bend Bears. And for the Penn Kingsmen, they haven't generated a lot of offense this year, but when they do, Dean Henderson seems to be in the middle of it. The senior attacker has 6 goals on the season. Now, he was silenced by Culver Academy on Wednesday night, one of the reasons the Kingsmen struggled in that game. They'll also need big game tonight from Brady Irish, their goalkeeper. The senior has only a .342 goals save percentage. Let's bust it. Yeah, I thought we fixed this percentage. It's .342. Of the TV 46 High School Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Tire Rack. TireRack.com is the way tire buying should be. It is a cloudy, windy night in South Bend, but perfect for high school lacrosse as we get you ready for Penn and the South Bend Bears and invite you into the Reliance broadcast booth. Reliance, design, build, renovate. The Penn Kingsmen have struggled offensively so far this year, but when they do get goals, it tends to be from their senior attacker, Dean Henderson. He has 6 goals on the season. The other night in their game against Culver Academy, he was silenced, and that's one of the reasons the Kingsmen struggled in that game. Who did have a good game against Culver Academy? Brady Irish. The goaltender had 10 saves in that game. He was just under a barrage of shots, so his shooting percentage or his save percentage isn't as strong as you might like it to be. But if he comes up with a big night tonight, that will be anchored behind a Penn defense. The keys to win for Pete Gillen and the Kings.
Got to play fundamental defense. They want to get transition opportunities, turn unsettled situations into quick offense. And they want to look for singles, not homers on offense. Make the simple play. Don't worry about making those TV flashy plays. Here's Pete Gillen on the rivalry with the South Bend Bears.
The kids have gotten a huge kick out of it. Last year they fed on that for a long time, and this whole week everybody's been excited about the opportunity to play in front of a TV audience, albeit on tape delay, but it's awesome. So I'm excited as well. I never got to do it as a kid, so as an adult, I still get a little giddy as well. So hopefully I'll keep my language under control.
Yeah, we tell Anj to do the same thing each game, too. The South Bend Bears have plenty of offense this year, but their leader on offense is Bly Johnson. He is scoring 22 goals so far this season. The junior has been spectacular. He had 4 goals on Wednesday night in their victory over LaPorte. And then on the back end, Saul Zabukovic has been terrific between the pipes, a .622 save percentage. Maybe not tested by the kind of quality of opposition that Penn has faced so far this year. We'll see how he holds up against this Penn team that loves to run transition.
The keys to win for the South Bend Bears, they want to limit the fast breaks. Transition defense has been a bit of a weakness for them, and it's a strength, meanwhile, for Penn. They want to maintain possession and limit turnovers. They got to make shots count. Don't waste those opportunities when you have the ball and have an opportunity to shoot. Kane Hoy on senior night, being on TV versus Penn.
It's awesome. I mean, we've been talking about it all week and just mentally preparing. Like, guys, this is an awesome experience that we get to have on our field against Penn on TV. It's awesome. It's awesome. And so us coaches have really been saying, hey, like, get in the mindset 2 days before. As soon as that LaPorte game was over, we're focused on Penn. So, yeah.
As excited as they are to be on TV, we're excited to be here as well, because this is one of the Northern Indiana's great lacrosse rivalries. It's Penn and the South Bend Bears, and it comes your way next on the 46 Game of the Week. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by Tire Rack. TireRack.com is the way tire buying should be. It's cloudy, it's windy, but otherwise perfect for high school lacrosse, and that's what we have for you tonight from Schoolfield as we bring you into the Reliance broadcast booth. Reliance, design, build, renovate. The Penn Kingsmen, we noted, a defensive-minded team, but you got to get offense. You got to score some goals to win a game, and when they're looking for goals, they look to Dean Henderson. The attacker, who is a senior so far this year, has been terrific with 6 goals on the season. That ranks second on the team. He was silenced on Wednesday night against Culver Academy. One of the reasons Penn struggled in that game. Who did have a good game against Culver Academy? Well, in goal, it was Brady Irish, who had 10 saves. I know Culver Academy scored double digits. He was under a barrage of shots in that game. Came up with 10 big saves. If that save percentage can go up from .342 tonight, could be a good night for the Kingsmen. The keys to win for Pete Gillen and his squad.
They want to play fundamental defense and get transition opportunities, turn unsettled situations into quick offense, and look for singles, not homers on offense. Make the simple play. Don't worry about making those TV flashy plays. Pete Gillen on the excitement of tonight.
The kids have gotten a huge kick out of it. Last year they fed on that for a long time, and this whole week everybody's been excited about the opportunity to play in front of a TV audience, albeit on tape delay, but it's awesome. So I'm excited as well. I never got to do it as a kid, so as an adult, I still get a little giddy as well. So hopefully I'll keep my language under control.
We tell Anj the same thing before each game as well. I don't know if he's the captain of the South Bend Bears team, but he should be Captain Bly, because Bly Johnson has done a phenomenal job scoring so far this year. In fact, he leads all Indiana club players with 22 goals this season. Only a junior. He had 4 goals in the victory Wednesday night against LaPorte. And then at the back end, Saul Zabukovic has been tremendous between the pipes. A .622 save percentage for the senior. He has been phenomenal against competition, maybe not as strong as what Penn has played so far. So if he can do it against the transition game of the Kingsmen tonight, then the Bears have a chance to knock off their rivals. The keys to win for Kane Hoy and the Bears.
They got to limit fast break. Transition defense has been a little bit of a weakness for the Bears this year, and obviously it's a strength for Penn. Maintain possession. They want to limit the turnovers and make shots count. Don't waste those great opportunities. Kane Hoy on this being senior night versus Penn and on TV.
It's awesome. I mean, we've been talking about it all week and just mentally preparing. Like, guys, this is an awesome experience that we get to have on our field against Penn on TV. It's awesome. It's awesome. And so us coaches have really been saying, hey, like, get in the mindset 2 days before. As soon as that LaPorte game was over, we're focused on Penn. So, yeah.
It's nice that both these teams feel it's special to be on TV 46. We feel it's special too, or we wouldn't be here. It's Penn and the South Bend Bears as we kick off our spring showcase next on 46. And this edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Basney Honda, proud to be your go-to resource for all things automotive. Starting lineups being announced here at School Field for Penn and the South Bend Bears. We've got them too. Here's Aj.
All right, we already talked about Brady Irish and Dean Henderson. Carson Bays, sophomore attackman, leads the team with 7 goals in just 3 games. He had 2 in the second half versus the Bears last year in our TV 46 Game of the Week. Tommy Paulus, the senior midfielder, we'll talk to him at halftime, one of our 46 student athletes of the week. He excels greatly versus the South Bend Bears over the years, has 2 goals, 4 assists this year. And also highlighting in the defense, Aiden Deal, a junior defenseman, a 3-year starter, also plays football, an All-American powerlifter, so you can imagine how tough he is on the back end. For the South Bend Bears, Ben Nevela, sophomore attackman, 13 goals, 14 assists to lead the way in scoring this season. Sam Evans is a freshman attackman. He has 15 goals, second on the team. And of course, we already talked about Saul Zabukovic and Bly Johnson, and David Nagy, a senior defenseman, 24 ground balls, second on the team. He is also our 46 Student Athlete of the Week, presented by Tony Letcher with Health Markets. We'll talk to him at halftime as well.
If you look at the history of this series, it only goes back to 2019. Lacrosse, a relatively new sport on the high school scene in northern Indiana. Penn leads at 4-1, including a series sweep last year, when Penn won the second game over at TCU Freed Field by a count of 7-3 on April 24th. The weather, it's a bit breezy here. That's more than a gentle zephyr out of the northwest at 15 on a 54-degree night, which will make it feel much cooler than that. And there's a 60% chance that we could see some rain coming in off of Lake Michigan by the time this one is over. The two teams meeting at midfield and shaking hands before the games, this one being officiated by Chris Potratz, Mike Williams, and Chase Smith. And of course, this is not under the sanction of the IHSAA, but they're always looking for more officials for IHSAA events. And our opening faceoff is sponsored by Holiday Properties. It is Gunnar Smith going for Penn against Ian Strasser for the South Bend Bears, and we're underway with Penn in control of the ball. Smith, hounded from behind, comes across the midfield stripe and promptly throws it away. South Bend closest to the ball as it goes out of bounds, so the Bears will get it back with P.J. Kotkamp throwing it in. Zabukovic in goal, gets it on out to Steven Stewart. Here's Owen McNally, trying to get it across the midfield stripe, but a good job of the ground ball that time by Blake Basil, and here come the Kingsmen.
A couple early turnovers here as these two teams settle in on a weird weather night, because now the sun's out here at School Field.
Penn working from behind the net. Carson Bays back there along with Dean Henderson, who wears number 9. Henderson to Brooks Clark. Clark, very potent scorer himself, a junior with 3 goals on the year. Trying to solve this South Bend defense. Clark, little pass to the inside, and the shot is thwarted by Zabukovic. It was taken by Josh Hickey. Clark comes up with the ground ball, lobs it behind the net. Traffic in front. South Bend comes away briefly with the ball. It's still loose at about the 28-yard line, and finally, nope, nobody has it yet. Finally, Tommy Paulus has it for Penn.
Excellent job here by Penn getting these 50-50 balls. That one bounced around quite a bit, but now they're going to get a third opportunity here on this possession.
And that reset the shot clock as well. Here's Carson Bays into the attack zone for the Kingsmen. Bays behind the net, hawked by Wyatt Lichty. Bays coming around. Zabukovic waving the stick, and Bays fires wide. It goes out of bounds, but Penn closest to the ball, so the Kingsmen will get it back, and you'll get another look at this one from John Adams High School.
Take a look at Bays coming around. Young player in this Kingsman program gets the shot off, but a little bit too much on it and goes wide. This first quarter brought to you by the Penn Boosters.
Brooks Clark on the attack, into the zone, fires over the net, and again, Henderson is closest to the ball. And you'll get another look at this one from John Adams High School.
Excellent job here by Zabukovic.
Meanwhile, Clark fires and scores. Brooks Clark with the goal, and it gets the Kingsmen on the board, 1-0. And you'll get another look at this one, courtesy of John Adams High School, as Clark gets his 4th of the year.
Right out of that ground ball opportunity, quickly going inside and getting it by Zabukovic for the first goal of the game.
He beat him on the stick side, and so Penn maintaining possession for about the first 2 minutes of this game, and we'll see if they can do it again here off the faceoff.
Faceoff brought to you by Holiday Properties. Now a little bit of a scrum, and Penn comes away with it.
And here's Tommy Paulus, the midfielder, getting it to the outside, shot and a goal. There's another one for the Kingsmen, this one from Zach Woods, the sophomore, with his 2nd of the season. And Penn maintaining possession throughout this first period, leading it 2-0.
Take a look at another replay brought to you by John Adams High School, and what a job there by Penn. You know, that transition game out of the faceoff is a great opportunity, and they're able to get it right there for the early goal.
And twice they've gone after Zabukovic on the stick side, and it's worked out well. Another face-off, this time the whistle, and this one will go to the South Bend Bears.
And face-off brought to you by Holiday Properties.
So the Bears now have it with Ian Strasser in control of the ball at about the 30.
Much different pace, Chuck, than our game that we did last year. That was dominated possession-wise by the South Bend Bears in the first quarter, especially. So far today, this is the first offensive possession South Bend's had.
And Bly Johnson with the ball, trying to come around the long stick midfielder. That's Nolan Murphy. Shot taken from out front, but it goes wide. South Bend will keep possession.
Ivy Tech programs are made to prepare students for great careers and high-paying, high-demand jobs. Find the program meant to advancing you toward your career quality and affordability. Classes that fit your busy life, in person, online, and in between. Enrollment is open. Visit ivytech.edu/apply.
A turnover called on the Bears, but Brady Irish winds up throwing it out of bounds, and it'll go to South Bend. Gives both teams a chance to get new personnel on the field. And South Bend will come out here with Max Middlebrook on the field now, a junior who has 9 goals on the year. He gets it to Owen McNally at the 20.
Middlebrook had 3 goals in a lopsided win over LaPorte on Wednesday night for South Bend.
Liam O'Donnell hawking McNally behind the net. McNally looking for somebody to pass it to. McNally still in possession. Gets rid of it. This is Sam Evans.
Evans, just a freshman. Outstanding talent for this South Bend Bears team.
Bly Johnson off the left side, right-handed shooter. Didn't pull the trigger, instead goes in back behind the net as South Bend tries to run a play. 8 minutes to go, first quarter, 2-0 Penn. Johnson set it up in front. Middlebrook couldn't get to it, but Evans will pick up the ground ball at the 20.
Decent opportunity there, but they're able to recover and keep possession.
Now it's Johnson again behind the net. Bly Johnson trying to put a move on his man, but being well defended by Colin Harmon right now. And Harmon knocks Johnson down and picks up the ball. Good defense by Harmon, but he lost it. Ben Hewitt recovers for South Bend. Hewitt, only a sophomore, finds Johnson behind the net. Johnson, obviously a marked man by this Penn defense.
Underclassmen are aplenty for South Bend with just 4 seniors here on this South Bend Bears squad.
McNally behind the net now to Ben Nevela. Neville, a sophomore, as Anj pointed out, 13 goals on the season. He'll get it back outside to Evans. Good ball movement here by the Bears, but not able to find a seam against the bigger Kingsmen.
You see the big size difference in this one, certainly with the underclassmen of South Bend versus a very just big defensive front for the Kingsmen.
This is a South Bend team that relies a lot on its speed in order to create offense. So a half-court offense, not necessarily what they like to work in, but that's what they have to do right now as Bly Johnson comes back around at about the 20-yard line. Middlebrook back behind the net. They're just not finding any room to operate against this Penn team that is staying very disciplined in its defense. Middlebrook lost the handle. It's loose and scooped up by South Bend. Bly Johnson got it back. South Bend still looking for its first shot on goal tonight. Here's Middlebrook. Fires off the post. It didn't go in. He got his own rebound.
Wow. He doesn't get much closer to going in than right there, and he somehow just missed it.
Throws it wide. If you're wondering why nobody crossed the 50, you have to have a certain number of players on each side of the field. And as tempting as it was for those players on that side to run up and try to get the ball, they were not allowed to.
They're able to reach over with their stick, but they're not able to cross over with their feet unless another player were to come back.
Middlebrook, one hopper. Neville couldn't scoop it up. It's still loose. Middlebrook will come away with it for South Bend. Now it's Bly Johnson, gets it outside. Here's Sam Evans coming up the middle. Evans, though, too wide to shoot.
He just got pushed out.
And we have a whistle and a timeout called by South Bend, and we'll take it as well. The timeout sponsored by Body Evolution in South Bend. 4:51 to go in the first, and Penn off to a 2-0 lead on 46. And this edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you by Notre Dame Federal Credit Union, putting people over products. Well, we realize we're in replay for the first goal of the night, but here it is again as you take a look at the nice stick side shot that time by Brooks Clark, his fourth of the season and the MVP of this team from last year, showing his value once again. One of the reasons he was first team in the Northern Indiana Lacrosse Conference this last year.
I don't know what I'm more impressed about so far. Penn's offense and the fact that they scored 2 goals in the first couple minutes, or the fact that the defense just preventing South Bend from getting any shots on net. For more than 70 years, Holiday Properties has been offering full-service real estate solutions across the country. Holiday is nationally known and locally run, based in Mishawaka. They are excited to cheer on the Kingsmen tonight. Learn more at holidayproperties.com.
So we'll see what kind of adjustments Kane Hoy made in that timeout. His team has really maintained possession for, I'd say, the last 4 minutes of this game, but they have not been able to get any shots on goal and thus still trail 2-0.
And that one of the reasons why he called timeout, to try to set up a play and hopefully open things up here a little bit. But again, excellent defense from Penn, just preventing the opportunities for South Bend, and now a possible turnover here, and it is.
Ball thrown away behind the net. Penn was able to come away with it with Eli Shoemaker, and now they get it up the field, but throw it away, and the Bears get it back with David Nagy. Nagy, you'll meet him at halftime, one of our Tony Letcher Health Market student athletes. Ben Neville, I had it on the stick for a moment, couldn't corral it. And while he's escorted away, Max Middlebrook comes in from behind to scoop it up. Things opening up out front for South Bend, but they couldn't control the ball, and so Sam Evans has to retreat. And that gives Penn time to reset the defense. Evans, just too many black jerseys to try to fire it through, and a clock violation is called against South Bend.
The Penn Boosters are always here to cheer on the Kingsmen. Last year, the Boosters awarded over $79,000 to various academic clubs and teams. Support the Penn Boosters by following them on Facebook or go to pennboosters.org.
Liam O'Donnell in possession for Penn, with Brady Irish, the goalie, handling things in the crease. Now Aiden Deal the All-American power lifter, coming up the field. It's Zach Woods who has one of the 2 goals tonight for the Kingsmen over on the far side of the field.
Substitutions happening.
Tommy Paulus comes back out onto the field for Penn as the Kingsmen get some fresh bodies on.
This game's health tip brought to you by HealthLink. Healthy kids are better students and better athletes. Schedule an annual wellness checkup, especially if you're going to score a goal.
Brooks Clark with his second of the night. He put it right over the head of Zabukovic, and the Kingsmen take a 3-0 lead. Look at this pretty little number on the sidearm that time from Brooks Clark.
I thought they were going to give me a little bit more time. By the way, HealthLink offers medical, dental, vision, and more. But Penn's offense has done a nice job of really just going for it at times and scoring 3 early goals.
Clark had a 2-goal performance for the Kingsmen in the opener against Carroll, and he already has 2 tonight. The faceoff sponsored by Holiday Properties. And it is still loose. And finally, we'll go to the South Bend Bears. No, it'll go to Penn.
Penn has now won 3 of the 4 faceoffs here tonight. John Adams High School is an A-rated school by Indiana Department of Education and recently was named the only school in the state of Indiana with a minority student population to earn a top 70 ranking by U.S. News. Adams is extremely proud of its rich athletic and academic traditions for over 80 years.
Henderson behind the net. They throw it over the head of Clark, but South Bend didn't see it loose. Penn did, and it's scooped up by Josh Hickey. Hickey, who had a goal in their game against Homestead. Now it's Tommy Paulus, left-hand shot. That one knocked away by Zabukovic. And it'll be controlled here by South Bend. Nice job by the senior keeper there. And South Bend was closer to the ball when it went out of bounds. Zabukovic's throw goes over the head of his teammate and out of bounds. And Penn will get it back. Carson Bays now on the attack. Bays, the sophomore, 7 goals on the year. Tried to set up Woods, but Woods couldn't handle the ball. Still loose, and finally South Bend has it with David Nagy.
Excellent job by Nagy scooping up that ground ball and getting this into the offensive side of the field.
Nagy on the long run upfield. Bly Johnson over to Max Middlebrook. But South Bend still has not been able to get a shot on goal on Brady Irish, and we're down to 1.5 minutes to go here in the first.
That was one of their better opportunities. It appeared they had numbers for a brief moment, but Penn doing a good job getting back. And now look at this defense here on Middlebrook.
Josh Hickey just bodied Middlebrook away from the play that time. Owen McNally trying to work on Tommy Paulus.
Penn just using their strength and size on defense really to bully South Bend here in this first quarter.
Bly Johnson got a screen from Nevela, and there's a flag against Penn because they went right through the screen of Nevela.
So now the South Bend Bears have an opportunity here for take as long as they need here to get a shot off, and then after that, if they don't score, they'll get a man-up situation. 40 seconds left here in this first quarter.
Johnson trying to work around Brooks Clark. Johnson fires a little bit low. It goes wide. South Bend closest to the ball as it goes out of bounds, and the flag is called against Penn. And you'll see it again on the John Adams replay. Watch the action behind the net. Neville has set the screen off to the left of your screen, and then when the player comes back, down goes Neville.
That was a pretty obvious penalty, to say the least.
It's called on Ian Head of Penn. And so under 30 seconds to go here in the first, the Kingsmen leading 3-0, trying to preserve that with the man advantage here. Another shot goes awry for the Bears.
And another flag coming out here.
And I think there might be too many men on the field for the Bears, or too many men in the zone.
Yeah, South Bend has 7 guys out there.
So the flag thrown against the South Bend Bears, and Penn will have a chance to kill off the final 20 seconds here of period number 1, a period that they have been absolutely dominant in. Paulus ahead to Liam O'Donnell. Here comes Dean Henderson trying to beat the clock here. Henderson spinning, throwing wide. It goes awry, but a terrific first quarter for the Penn Kingsmen. They have 0.8 seconds left here in the period. It is now expired, and Penn coming out and firing on all cylinders. Brooke Clark went stick side. So too did Zach Woods, and Clark would get a third. The Kingsmen lead it 3-0 now, 46. And this edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Bill's Heating, keeping families and businesses comfortable since 1951. A 3-0 lead for Pete Gillen and the Penn Kingsmen as we go to the second.
Penn Soft Pretzels has been supporting high school athletics since 2008. They believe that sports are an important part of a well-rounded education and are proud to support the next generation of athletes. Find Ben Soft Pretzels at the University Park Mall and at most major Notre Dame athletic events. Have a pretzel day.
Now, the South Bend Bears held scoreless in that first quarter. They are 7-0 this year when they score in double digits. The converse of that is they are 0-2 when they don't. So that would tend to be a bit of trouble. By the way, our factoids brought to us by our friends at the Primary Care Partners of South Bend.
And the second quarter tonight will be brought to you by NIPCO. And we also want to let you know that Body Evolution Fitness and Nutrition in South Bend provides elite personal training and nutritional counseling for athletes. If you want to take your game to the next level, visit Body Evolution at 115 North Main Street in downtown South Bend.
There you see Kane Hoy in his third season as the head coach of the South Bend Bears. He is a Mishawaka High and Bethel alum. He was the captain for the Bears in high school. Meanwhile, his counterpart over on the Penn side, Pete Gillen, grew up in Connecticut, Notre Dame alum, led the 1990 Irish lacrosse team in ground balls.
Primary Care Partners of South Bend offers high-quality medical care to people of all ages. They're here to focus on you, and they're committed to take the time needed to understand your medical needs. Conveniently located in downtown South Bend near Howard Park with easy parking access, they offer early morning and Saturday hours.
The team switch ends at the quarters, which means Saul Zabukovic, the South Bend Bears goalie, now looking into the sun here in the second quarter with his team down 3-0. Brooks Clark and the Kingsmen begin the period with possession of the ball. Clark with 2 goals, Zach Woods with 1. That's the scoring so far in this one.
If you're looking to build a new home and renovate your current home, contact Reliance. Serving Northern Indiana and Southwest Michigan, Reliance has a reputation for excellence year after year. Visit RelianceDBR.net for more info. Reliance, design, build, renovate.
Josh Hickey now with the ball, gets it over to Tommy Paulus. Paulus, of course, an all-NIC strong safety. Started playing lacrosse because, well, he didn't like baseball, so he wanted something else to do in the spring. Started playing in 7th grade. It's worked out well for him. That's Hickey in the middle, and a stop by Zabukovic.
Excellent save there by Saul, who's just in his second year as a goalie. Excellent goalie for someone who has only been doing it for 2 years. But he's been faced with a number of difficult situations here tonight by this Kingsman squad.
Clark fires, and another stop by Zabukovic. He handles it in front. What a stop by Zabukovic that time, because Clark had dead aim on the net, fired, and Zabukovic was quick with the stick.
That's a replay the John Adams Eagles are proud to sponsor.
Meanwhile, the scoop of the ground ball on the far side by Middlebrook of South Bend. Another ball loose, but South Bend is able to control it, throw it down the length of the field, and Neville couldn't come up with it. Penn has it behind the net.
By the way, if you're wondering why they call the South Bend Bears and not Adams, it's because there is more than just Adams players on this team. They also have Riley, Trinity, New Prairie, Mishawaka, and a couple of homeschool kids, but the majority of the players 17 of the players on the roster coming from Adams High School.
Here comes Tommy Paulus for the Kingsmen. Now behind the net, it's Dean Henderson. He'll give it off to Zach Woods, and Woods will look to set up the play. The size of the Kingsmen has come up big, no pun intended, so far tonight. They lead it 3-0. They have been able to bully South Bend with the defense and then be quick with the offense.
And now they slow the tempo down here in the second quarter, already up 3-0.
You can hear Pete Gillen barking instructions down on the sidelines as Paulus puts on a move, fires, it's high. Penn closest to the ball will get it back.
Coach Gillen did tell us he's going to make sure he watches his language here tonight to not get caught on TV.
And a timeout called by Penn. We'll take it as well. It's sponsored by Body Evolution in South Bend. 9:08 to go first half. 3-0 Kingsmen on 46. Friends, this edition of the TV 46 High School Game of the Week is being brought to you in part by Imagineering, Finishing Technologies, IFT, where quality is a way of life.
Ivy Tech credits transfer to more than 100 colleges and universities in Indiana and outside the state. They offer more than 20 degrees, qualifying for guaranteed admission at the largest four-year institutions in the state. With classes that fit your busy schedule, in person, online, and in between, enrollment is open. Visit ivytech.edu/apply.
Great view from the Reliance broadcast booth. Reliance, they design, build, renovate. We are at historic School Field, as we mentioned off the top. Been the host of so many great events here. The 1973 IHSA 3A State Championship football game. There were soccer games here where state championships were played. I believe Anthony Johnson, the former Adams standout in both football and then went on to Notre Dame, Carolina Panthers. Well, he played a soccer state championship game here, and now boys lacrosse being played here at Everwise School Field.
The other night, this facility overall here at Jefferson Intermediate had boys lacrosse here. At the soccer field, there was girls lacrosse, and then they had baseball right across the street. So they were fully stacked with just about every spring sport.
Well-used complex here on the east side of South Bend. Zach Woods lines it up and fires, but it goes wide.
Based in Elkhart, NIPCO has been family run for 5 generations, dating back to the early 1900s. NIPCO provides systems for fire protection, HVAC, industrial, irrigation, and plumbing. Learn about employment opportunities at nipco.com. Go Kingsmen.
Here's Carson Bays with the ball far side. Woods looks again to Bays. Back to Woods. In the middle, Brooks Clark makes a move, fires. It's deflected away by defense, and Penn will get it back. 8:22 to go first half. Another shot, and Zabukovic was up to the task.
Zabukovic now with 3 straight saves after giving up those 3 early goals in the first quarter. But now having trouble clearing this one out.
And South Bend unable to control the ball or get it out of its own zone, and Tommy Paulus has it again for the Kingsmen.
Kane Hoy talked about the need to just master the fundamentals to be able to beat Penn, and that's been a struggle here tonight for South Bend.
Shot by Hickey goes high.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies in South Bend is globally known as the knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. Like the teams in this game, Imagineering is always working towards a great finish.
Henderson got away with a bad pass. It came right back to him, and he was able to kick it over to Paulus. Paulus in the middle. Hickey's sidearm shot is good. Josh Hickey with his first goal of the season, and the writer for the pennant will be able to create his own headline after this one. You'll get another look on the John Adams High School replay.
Nice underhand shot, and gets it by Zabukovic, who was going low and still was unable to get that one as Hickey just fires it by him.
The accuracy that Penn has been able to show with its shooting tonight has been admirable. Here's another face-off brought to you by Holiday Properties. 4-0 Penn on top of this one. But South Bend unable to come up with the ball there as the Kingsmen grab it again with Blake Basil.
Penn has won 4 of the 5 face-offs so far here tonight, much to the delight of Holiday Properties.
And much like in the sport of hockey, if you can control the face-off, you control possession.
and it becomes a make-it-take-it situation in lacrosse.
And that was part of the problem for the Kingsmen on Wednesday night when they took on Culver Academy. Is the Eagles, one of the top 5 teams of the state in Class 2A, were dominant on the faceoffs. And so Penn really didn't get many chances to generate offensive opportunities. Ball thrown away here. Carter Good going to try to chase it down, and does at the 47. Here's Brady Bauer. As Pete Gillen taking the opportunity to get some of his less experienced players in the game now with a 4-goal lead. Zach Woods behind the net looking to set up shop. Here's Bauer. Back to Woods. In the middle, the shot, score!
What a play.
Joey DePalma came racing through the middle, took a perfect feed from Woods, who has been a dynamite assist man this year. And Woods, with his 2nd assist of the night, his 6th of the season, put DePalma on the doorstep.
DePalma did just a fabulous job catching that ball, going underneath immediately for the goal. Did not hesitate and puts it up 5-0 now. Penn dominating this one here in the first half.
It was a fisherman shot. He catch and release.
TireRack.com is proud to serve as the scoreboard sponsor for the TV 46 Game of the Week since 1979. TireRack has been helping people find the right tires for how, what, and where they drive. They're also well known for supporting the Michiana community. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. And now another face-off one brought to you by Holiday Properties for the Penn Kingsmen.
Yeah, Gunnar Smith got the better of that face-off, and now on the ground ball, a violation called against South Bend, so Penn will get the ball back. Kingsman with Zach Woods again behind the net. Woods a goal and 2 assists so far tonight. They'll throw it outside. DePalma comes up with it and gets it over to Carter Good. Good, only a freshman. He's quarterback on the freshman football team at Penn. Here's Woods behind the net. And now DePalma falls down, ball loose, and violation called against South Bend. I think they may have accidentally kicked it. Kingsmen get it back.
South Bend, it feels like, has barely had possession of the ball here in this second quarter.
Woods' shot hits the side of the net, and Zabukovic is able to scoop it up. So let's see if the Bears can get something going here in the final 4:46 of the first half. They trail 5-0.
Big thing is they just have to get it across midfield. They've had trouble doing that on the clear outs already, and here you're seeing some pressure coming from Penn. Almost the equivalent of a full court press, and there's the turnover.
David DePalma coming the other way. The shot as Zabukovic was way out of the net. South Bend will get the ball this time, being closer to the ball, but South Bend got away with one there.
Lilliard Insurance Agency in Osceola believes in the importance of high school sports. They are locally owned and can assist with all your insurance needs. Visit realvalueins.com to learn more. Lilliard Insurance, real people, real service, real value.
Sam Clemens now in the game. 44 gets it over to Brady Bauer. Here's Good. DePalma back on. DePalma coming up the middle. He was checked and falls down, loses control, and South Bend will get it back. And South Bend finally across midfield with David Nagy. Nagy with the long stick, lost the ball, and Penn will get it back.
That's good defense by Penn in transition. Now can they settle and get the ball back here as it's right around midfield?
And they do. Blake Basil with the long stick, fires and scores.
I think Zabukovic might have lost that one in the sun. The way he reacted as that shot went off, he might have been blinded just based on where that went. As you take a look at this replay once again, great job with the long stick, the shot. I'm just not sure he was able to see the ball.
Looking directly into the sun, Basil fires and scores. Timeout called by South Bend, and it's sponsored by Body Evolution in South Bend.
A-rated John Adams High School is home to a diverse student body of more than 1,980 students. Adams students have the opportunity to participate in the International Baccalaureate, advanced placement courses, dual credit courses, and career and technical education courses. The graduating class of 2023 saw students attend more than 65 unique universities, and graduates earned more than $10 million in grants and scholarships. Congratulations, and go Eagles.
You don't often see the long stick fielder fire one in, but Basil, who's a pretty good hockey player as well, comes up with one here. You'll get another look here on the John Adams replay.
Not bad to get your first goal of the season on TV. And here it is, one more replay, another look on the low angle.
He really got some velocity, which you would expect with the long stick if you can follow through with it. Often those long sticks are used more for lobs out of the defensive zone than they are for shots like that.
Now a flag coming out here while we're still in the timeout. And I think it's an issue with one of the lacrosse sticks.
Well, it's got a hole in it, for one.
Then maybe the flag was just to... I'm not sure. But while they figure that out, we'll let you know that Primary Care Partners of South Bend is here to help with your medical needs, and they're committed to listening to you and making sure you feel cared for in the process. They have specialists that include family medicine, pediatric care, and 2 family nurse practitioners. Learn more at primarycaresb.com.
So because of the violation, there won't be a face-off here. Instead, South Bend gets the ball at the 49-yard line with Ian Strasser in control. Strasser leaves it off for Sam Evans.
This is a man-up opportunity here now for South Bend with a player in the penalty box, Carson Bays for Penn.
South Bend moving the ball around on the perimeter. Bly Johnson, their leading scorer on the year, has it. In the middle to Neville. Bounce shot goes awry, and the ball loose. It'll go to South Bend.
One of the few offensive opportunities here for South Bend in this first half. They want to make the most of this man-up situation.
Johnson walking in around the 15. Now Strasser. Evans to McNally. Neville behind the net. It's Johnson. Didn't decide to shoot there. Ben Hewitt lost the ball, and Penn scoops it up. The Kingsmen racing across midfield. Abe Barsonis. Now a ground ball shot. Zabukovic was able to come up with this one. Bauer tried to fool him with a one-hopper, and Zabukovic wouldn't have any of it.
South Bend still has the man-up situation right now.
David Nagy gets it across now to Ryan Brown. The senior lobs it across midfield, taken by Strasser. Strasser has it knocked away by Liam O'Donnell. The scrum ensues, and a kick against Penn. It'll go to South Bend. Minute 54 left first half. Kingsmen on top 6-0. Max Middlebrook comes back in the game now for South Bend. Owen McNally on the far side. Hewitt behind the net to Neville. Here's Bly Johnson shooting and scoring. Johnson finally pulls the trigger and gets the Bears on the board for his 23rd of the year. You'll see it again on the John Adams High School replay.
They took their time on this man-up situation, and it pays dividends as he goes top shelf for the goal. And Bly Johnson, a character, let me tell you, talked to him quite a bit towards the end of the LaPorte game on Wednesday night. Very young man. He said, very good young man, said he thought about going into communications, and but if he did, he didn't want to have to tell stories about people. He wanted to just call the action on the field. So I just want to make sure I tell a story about him so that he's not appreciating the fact that we're just not telling the stuff on the field.
Face Off brought to you by Holiday Properties. and a violation against South Bend. So it'll go to Penn.
Penn now have won 6 of the 8 faceoffs, whether or not it's violation or winning it clean in terms of the actual play. But 6 of the 8 is a big advantage and one of the reasons why they're ahead 6-1 here.
Starters back out there on the field for the Kingsmen now as they try to get some offense going in the final minute 15 of the first half. Behind the net, it's Brady Bauer. Bauer looking for room. Hickey fires and scores. He went top shelf as well. And Josh Hickey with his second goal of the game makes it 7-1 Penn.
Take a look at the replay here, brought to you by John Adams High School. And Hickey, wow, he went over a defender, top shelf, and the angle that he had there didn't look like he would be able to even put that on goal, and he does. Excellent job there by Josh Hickey for his second goal of the game and his first 2 goals of the season.
Put it into some pretty tight spaces, and Hickey makes it a 7-1 Kingsman advantage. And another faceoff sponsored by Holiday Properties goes to Penn. Gunnar Smith has been outstanding on the draws tonight. Zach Woods now over near the Penn sideline. Over to Brooks Clark.
And now an opportunity here for one more goal before the half.
Tommy Paulus up at the top at the 35, over to Brooks Clark. Henderson behind the net, fires, and the ball goes awry, but it comes to Penn. Paulus dropped it, had it knocked away. Paulus hustling, though, comes up with it. Still time for the Kingsmen to get off a play here with 15 seconds left in the half. Clark spinning, firing. Zabukovic knocks it away. Clock down to 5-4, and this is the way the first half will come to an end here at Everwise School Field in South Bend. The Penn Kingsmen have looked very impressive here tonight. Josh Hickey with a sweeping goal right there. Then Blake Basil with the long stick. Bly Johnson tried to answer for South Bend, but it hasn't been enough. 7-1 Kingsmen at the break. Our Tony Letcher Health Market student athletes are next on 46.
Time now for our 46 Student Athletes of the Week, presented by Tony Letcher with Health Markets. We have David Nagy, a senior defenseman for the South Bend Bears, alongside Tommy Paulus, a midi for Penn. Tommy, we'll start with you. You have a 4.1 GPA. You're a 46 student athlete during football season. And, of course, you play football in addition to lacrosse. Since then, you've become a preferred walk-on at Notre Dame. What does that mean to you to have that opportunity to go play football at Notre Dame next year?
I mean, yeah, it's great. Getting that opportunity was like everything I've dreamed of, and growing up around Notre Dame has been my dream to go to that school, and being a preferred walk-on really means a lot to me.
Obviously, your family is known for football. What do you love about lacrosse?
About lacrosse, I picked it up in 7th grade, so it's fairly new to me, and I've just grown better every year, and I think that's the best thing for me.
How exciting has the sport become since you've grown into it?
I mean, like I said, every year, like, as soon as I got to high school, it got even better, it got even bigger, grew the sport. I started playing summer ball, and I started getting even better, so that's like the most exciting part.
Who do you want to give shout-outs to who have helped you get to this point?
Yeah, to give shout-outs is the old Notre Dame coach. He actually gave me my very first stick, the old Notre Dame assistant coach, and I ran with that. And then Coach Gillen, he was my first coach in junior, like in 7th grade for junior ball, and yeah, gone from there ever since.
All right, Tommy, thank you very much. Congratulations. David Nagy, senior here for the South Bend Bears, attends South Bend Adams High School, a member of the soccer team, tennis team, 3.8 GPA, captain of the Quiz Bowl, secretary of the student body. How do you pull this all off?
You know, it comes down to making some sacrifices. You're not always able to make it to those social events. You have to prioritize, you know, what's going to make you better, what's going to help you grow. So for me, you know, I want to put myself out there and do what I can and be a part of my community. And if that takes away from a little bit of fun time, I'm okay with that.
You had some fun as a kid. You were in the Notre Dame Children's Choir. You performed in a few plays at the South Bend Civic Theater. What were those experiences like, and how kind of they shaped you as you've grown up?
I got to do all those things with my brothers and sisters. I'm one of 8, the fourth of 8 in my family. And I think, getting to express myself, learn how to do a lot of different things, do a little bit of acting, a little bit of singing, help me become a little bit more well-rounded and relate to people more.
What does being a South Bend Bear mean to you?
We have kind of a mixed identity. You got kids from all the South Bend schools and from Trinity, and some homeschool guys. I think it's a great way to, come together and find common ground with a great sport like lacrosse.
David, thank you very much. Congratulations. David Nagy, Tommy Paulus, our 46 Student Athletes of the Week, presented by Tony Letcher with Health Markets. We have your first half stats right after this. You're watching the TV 46 High School Game of the Week.
This edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Reliance. Design, build, renovate. 7-1 at the half in favor of the Penn Kingsmen over the top-ranked South Bend Bears as we welcome you into the Reliance broadcast booth. Chuck Freeby and Angelo DiCarlo high above the fray. We expected Penn's defense to be very effective. It has been. What's been a little bit surprising is how effective Penn has been on offense tonight.
But I think the defense is what has led to that, right? They just have maintained possession throughout the game. South Bend, anytime they've had opportunities, Penn has just been so big and strong, have prevented them from getting any clean shots on goal. And then Penn's offense has been able to take their time, get their opportunities, and score on a lot of their opportunities.
Let's show you how it got to be this way here at Everwise School Field, because Penn fired the opening salvos in the first couple of minutes of the game. Brooks Clark with a nice low shot stick side to score. Then off the face-off, Tommy Paulus is able to find Zach Woods sitting on the doorstep. He rifles one home, and it is quickly 2-0 Penn. It stayed that way for a while. Then the Kingsmen are able to get a sweeping goal here from Paulus to Josh Hickey to make it 4-0. Joey DePalma off the Zach Woods feed makes it 5-0. And when Blake Basil scores with the long fielder's midstick, well, it's a 6-0 Kingsman lead at that point. South Bend finally able to get on the board when Bly Johnson gets his 23rd of the season going top shelf over Brady Irish, but Penn answers quickly with Josh Hickey going up top as well. 7-1 Kingsman at the break. We don't have a lot of stats to show you, but what we can tell you is Penn has dominated the draws on the face-off. They've dominated the shots on goal. They've dominated the game.
And they've dominated the time of possession. I think the big thing for South Bend in the second half, they just need to be able to make clean passes and catch it. They've had a lot of contested opportunities there that they've just not been able to do the fundamentals as well as they would like. And if they can do that, maybe they can retain possession a little longer. You have possession, you have more opportunities to score.
And maybe don't be so hesitant on the trigger, too. At times, South Bend seems to be content to pass the ball around the zone of Penn. At some point, you got to fire it towards the net and see what might happen. Johnson had one go in, maybe a few more can for the Bears as well. Penn leads at 7-1 here at the intermission. We're back with second half play-by-play from School Field in South Bend after this on 46. And this edition of the 46th Game of the Week being brought to you by Purdue's Northwest College of Nursing, helping you realize your potential.
Ivy Tech programs are made to prepare students for great careers in high-paying, high-demand jobs. Find the program meant for advancing you toward your career quickly and affordably. Classes that fit your busy life, in-person, online, and in between. Enrollment is open. Visit ivytech.edu/apply.
Well, tonight we have seen primarily Gunnar Smith on the draws for the Penn Kingsmen, but Cole Bell is also an excellent face-off man for Penn. He's 18 of 32 on the draw this season. The factoid's brought to us by Primary Care Partners of South Bend, and obviously this is one of the areas where the Bears are going to have to improve here in the second half if they're going to get back in the game.
Yeah, 7 of 9 faceoffs were won by Penn, and the good news with a guy like Cole Bell is the fact that, you know, he's just a sophomore. So if you can have, they've got good guys in the pipe as well as face-off specialists, which, as you're seeing tonight, is a major factor in this game.
The interesting thing about the way Cole Bell learned how to do face-offs is he watched a lot of YouTube videos on how to do it. So kind of considers himself self-taught before he got to this level. We'll see how Gunnar Smith of Penn does here, and he wins another one for the Kingsmen, who start the third quarter. The face-off sponsored by Nipco.
And this third quarter brought to you by Holiday Properties.
Kingsmen in possession with Brooks Clark. Clark, the junior midfielder, very good lacrosse IQ, gets it out to Tommy Paulus. Clark now gets it back to Paulus. Had a man down low, but Henderson couldn't control the pass. Hickey has had a nice game tonight with a pair of goals. Behind the net, Zach Woods walking in. And a whistle, and Woods went into the crease. Crease violation will give it back to South Bend.
All right, let's see if the Bears can get something going offensively, but this full field press, if you want to call it that, working. And here's Zabukovic, the goalie, going across midfield.
Wow.
Now remember, he started off as a not goalie. He only started playing goalie 2 years ago, so he knows how to play in the field. They'll utilize him that way on occasion. Luckily, he's able to get back and did not commit the turnover despite the errant pass there.
Ben Nevela gets it across to Sam Evans. Evans, hawked by Tommy Paulus. Paulus with some stick checking going on here. Evans collects the loose change. Paulus harassing him some more. Seems unfair that an all-conference strong safety should get to use a stick to play defense too.
Let alone against a freshman.
Evans looking for somebody to break towards the middle, but there's not a whole lot of movement right now in the Bears offense. And Evans gets knocked to the ground and the flag thrown on Paulus.
Well, he got penalized for using that stick that time. And now a man-up opportunity coming here for South Bend. For more than 70 years, Holiday Properties has been offering full-service real estate solutions across the country. Holiday is nationally known and locally run, based in Mishawaka. They are excited to cheer on the Kingsmen tonight. Learn more at holidayproperties.com as you take a look at the replay brought to you by John Adams. And you see the cross-check and the penalty called against Penn.
Pretty easy call there.
It's like we set him up for it.
Here's Bly Johnson, has the lone goal for South Bend tonight. Winds, fires, scores! A power play goal for Bly Johnson, his 24th of the season. And you'll get another look on the John Adams replay.
Johnson has scored both goals here tonight, and both goals have been on the man-up situation for South Bend. So they just need to make sure they can get that 6-on-5 advantage on the offensive end, and it is helping dividends because that's been the problem. They haven't been able to shoot many shots because of the defense of Penn. When they get that man up, you get that extra man, and those opportunities, the field gets so much bigger, and they're able to provide it. But now here comes an opportunity here with the faceoff brought to you by Nipco. They got to get this one. They've lost 8 out of 10 if you're South Bend.
And Wyatt Lichty did win the faceoff as Max Middlebrook comes up with the ball for South Bend.
So maybe a little momentum can start here for South Bend.
Middlebrook coming down to about the 10-yard line. He's being guarded by Brooks Clark. Middlebrook running back just wide of the crease. Evans back to Middlebrook.
Just like in hockey, we're back to full strength, even strength after that goal.
Middlebrook.
And again, you're seeing those opportunities to get a good look at the goal being limited.
And now Owen McNally, the diminutive one on the outside. Here's Evans around a McNally screen. Couple of screens set up, but Evans didn't try to penetrate towards the net.
But as you pointed out, Chuck, at halftime, at some point you're just going to have to let it rip And take a good shot when you have an opportunity.
And they do have an opportunity, but Brady Irish with the thwarting of Ben Nevela. Evans trying to collect the ground ball. And finally, it is scooped up by Isaiah Garvey. Garvey, a three-sport athlete, football and cross country, along with lacrosse, running around on the outside. He's hawked by Eli Shoemaker. Garvey comes in front of the net now. Needs to give it up to somebody, and there's Nevela.
He was getting pushed out of there. That was the best even strength opportunity of the night for South Bend. Now they're hoping to get another one here and try to reduce this deficit down to 4 goals.
Nevela and the Bears looking to come back here in the second half. Middlebrook tried to put a move on Clark. Middlebrook still hesitant to shoot. Middlebrook coming back along the left side. Shoots that way, it goes wide, and Brady Irish was able to hustle back out of the goal and get possession for Penn.
The Penn Boosters always cheer for the Kingsmen. Last year, the Boosters awarded over $79,000 to various academic clubs and teams. Support the Penn Boosters by following them on Facebook or go to pennboosters.org.
You see the size of the Kingsmen as they're coming up the field here. Zach Woods directing traffic as he takes the ball behind the net with 7:05 to go in the third. Kingsmen leading 7-2. Here's Carson Bays on the outside. It's Hickey over to Paulus. Back to Henderson. Henderson fires. Zabukovic with a great save.
And a good job by Zabukovic, noticing he had a player behind him to make sure he didn't get it stolen from behind.
And Zabukovic fires it up the field, but the pass not controlled by Wyatt Lichty. Ball still loose, and Penn has it. Long flick up the field. Nice catch by Bays. Bays to Woods, and Woods scores. There's the transition of the Penn Kingsmen on display right there, and the Bears didn't respond well.
That's strength versus weakness. It's one of the big strengths for Penn is the transition game, and one of the weaknesses for South Bend. And a great look and a goal, and for the second time here tonight, Zach Woods, the sophomore attackman, scoring here for the Penn Kingsmen to put them up 8-2.
And we've got a timeout on the field. 6:21 to go in the third quarter, and Penn leads at 8-2 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you by Ben Soft Pretzels, serving our community one pretzel at a time. And it gives us a chance to ask tonight's Ben Soft Pretzel trivia question. What South Bend native was once named the Indiana Lacrosse Player of the Year? If you give it some thought, you might be able to come up with this one.
Well, if you think about it, it's really the only option.
True.
Because he played at the highest level you can get.
Well, and Will Corrigan, who went on to play at Notre Dame and is now an assistant at Air Force, was the South Bend St. Joe star back in 2010 and helped them get to the state finals.
We talk about Ben's Pretzels, and we want to give a shout out and prayers to the Kreider family that owns Ben's Pretzels. Little Luke, 10-year-old, battling leukemia. So our thoughts and prayers with him. I understand he is doing well and continuing to improve, and the most recent scan showed no cancer. So, Luke, we're thinking about you. We're praying for you and hope you get a speedy recovery real soon.
Nibco sponsored the face-off won by the Kingsmen. Blake Basil was able to get it up the field, and now it's Carson Bays with it over to Zach Woods.
It's 9-3 now for Penn in face-offs here tonight.
Not much different than the score. Bays thought about shooting, instead maintains possession, gets it to Woods, who will flip it behind the net to Henderson. Here's Brooks Clark. Clark with a move back to Henderson. Clark had to be careful, he nearly went in the crease. Up top, now Clark.
Good defense by senior PJ Kotkamp for South Bend on this possession. One of only 4 seniors on this South Bend team celebrating senior night here this evening.
Woods has had a good night, a couple of goals. Here's Clark. He fires, and Zabukovic knocks it away. It caroms all the way over to the far side, and Penn, closest to it, will retain possession. Boy, Zabukovic, he's given up 8, but he's probably had at least that many saves as well. Bays can't control the pass. It's loose, and Nagy will scoop it up for South Bend, but he used his foot to control it, so Penn gets it back.
Those are the unforced fundamental errors that South Bend's really been plagued with here tonight that Coach Hoy will probably be harping on at the next practice to try to clean up.
You can understand the frustration, though. They have not had a lot of things go their way tonight. Paulus with a rip, but it goes wide. Woods was closest to it.
Zabukovic has just been fired on here tonight.
Now the shot by Hickey goes wide, but Henderson is the closest to the ball as it goes out of bounds, and so Penn gets it back again.
Knocked over the cone in the corner. Bet if you tried that again, I don't know if you would get that. That's probably worth 2 goals.
Woods behind the net. Now it's Bays, Henderson, or Paulus, excuse me, and Paulus had his stick deflected by Nagy as he tried to fire it that time, and it went well high. But Penn has been in constant possession. They fire another one wide, and they'll get another chance to get it back.
Pretty sure they're going to start knocking out some maintenance trucks here at School Field with the way they're ripping off some of these shots.
Clark. Now Bays. Henderson, will it be his turn? No, Paulus set up Clark. Boy, good ball movement here by the Kingsmen. Paulus with a sidearm shot, and that one found the net.
Kingsman goal number 2.
That was a fantastic possession for Penn. I'm not sure how many different players touched the ball on that possession, but it was quite a number. It might have been all 6 guys on the offensive end as we take a look at the replay brought to you by John Adams. 1, 2, 3, 4, and the shot and the score. What a play by the Kingsmen to go up 9-2.
The lefty with his 3rd goal of the season. He loves playing against the South Bend Bears. He had 4 in the second matchup between the two teams last year. And another Penn face-off win, this one sponsored by NIPCO.
And this is the problem for South Bend. They just are not having possession of the ball because of the face-offs won here by Penn. 10-13 now so far in this game.
9-2, the Kingsmen lead it on the most important scoreboard here at Everwise School Field as Carson Bays sends it back outside. Woods checking all the angles. The Kingsmen do a good job of moving without the ball. Henderson tried to stuff it in over Zabukovic, but stepped in the crease before he did.
This game's health tip brought to you by HealthLink. Healthy kids are better students and better athletes. Schedule an annual wellness checkup at HealthLink today. HealthLink offers medical, dental, vision, and more.
South Bend will try to clear here with P.J. Kottkamp out of Trinity High School. Sending it up. Middlebrook had it knocked away from behind, but Garvey scoops it up for South Bend. Now Owen McNally. McNally checked by Nolan Murphy. Here's Max Middlebrook. Murphy trying to slash at Middlebrook. And South Bend just has not been able to crank out a lot of shots tonight on offense.
As we've said, there are 2 goals both on man-up situations. But when it's been even strength, having a good look at the net has been nearly impossible for the Bears thanks to this big, strong Penn defense.
Middlebrook jogs behind the net. Now finds an opening. The shot goes wide, and Garvey wins the race to maintain possession. It was Bly Johnson with the shot. And Isaiah Garvey brings it back in for South Bend. Evans over to Bly Johnson. Aiden Deal doing a nice defensive job on Johnson tonight. Deal, an offensive tackle on the Penn football team. Johnson just made a move on him to get some room. Neville tried to spin but couldn't get open. Garvey thought about taking the shot briefly, instead kicks it back outside to Evans. And Garvey couldn't control the pass, and here comes Penn the other way with Colin Harmon scooping it up.
Penn loves the transition. Good deflection there by South Bend to slow it down a little bit, but now South Bend with a number of changes on the field. We'll see if Penn can take advantage here with under a minute to play.
Penn goes to Zach Woods down on the 10. Henderson behind the net.
Penn making a change as well.
And Zabukovic had come well out of the goal. The shot was taken by Carson Bays. And fortunately for Zabukovic, the shot was well wide. Take another look here on the John Adams replay. Look how empty that net was. Bays won't have that easy a line all night. Brady Bauer trying to chase down this ground ball for the Kingsmen. And finally corrals it at the 45 with 28 seconds to go in the third. Shot hit the post that time by Bays, and it goes out of bounds to Penn. Penn in a hurry. Woods with a shot. Zabukovic knocked it away. Penn maintains possession. Clock stops with 14.2 to go here in the third. Henderson, as the clock starts, tries to stuff it. No, they'll have to reset it.
I think he went too quickly before the referee had the opportunity to wind the clock.
Henderson sent it over the top, and it's taken away by South Bend and Zabukovic. Zabukovic clears it down to Wyatt Lichty, and the clock expires here at the end of the third quarter. South Bend looked as though it was going to get back in the game. Bly Johnson had an early goal to cut the deficit, but then Penn was able to answer with a couple of scores. Zach Woods on that one, and then Tommy Paulus with a sidewinder, and it's 9-2 Kingsmen after 3 on 46. This edition of the 46 Game of the Week being brought to you in part by Crown Trophy. They're nationally known and locally owned. Chuck Freeby, Angelo DiCarlo with you from Everwise School Field. Penn leading this boys lacrosse matchup by a count of 9-2.
Ivy Tech credits transferred to more than 100 colleges and universities in Indiana and outside the state. They offer more than 20 degrees qualifying for guaranteed admission at the largest four-year institutions in the state. With classes that fit your busy schedule, in person, online, and in between, enrollment is open. Visit ivytech.edu/apply.
Our spring showcase moves to the baseball diamond next week, and we'll have 3 showings of this one, including Tuesday night at 9, as Marion and St. Joe renew their rivalry up at the North Fields in a key NIC battle. So see it Tuesday night at 9, Friday night at 11, and Saturday morning at 9 on your home for high school sports in Michiana, TV 46. Of course, Jace Lee committed to play at Notre Dame, playing for St. Joe, but Marion's got a pretty good player by the name of Chase Bays, who's likely to be their starting pitcher on Monday night. And he's going to Eastern Illinois, not too shabby.
And they've got a number of 3- and 4-year starters in a loaded 12-player senior class for Marion. So they're hoping that that will pay advantage as well. Bensoft Pretzels has been supporting high school athletics since 2008. They believe that sports are an important part of a well-rounded education and are proud to support the next generation of athletes. Find Bensoft Pretzels at the University Park Mall, and at most major Notre Dame athletic events. Have a pretzel day.
So the fourth quarter getting underway with Penn on top of this one by a count of 9-2. Kingsmen have been in control of this one really since the opening minutes. They scored 2 goals in the first 2:45 of the game and have not looked back. Face-off sponsored by Nibco, and guess what? The Kingsmen win this one as well. And a cross-check called against South Bend. It'll be a delayed penalty with Penn in control of the ball. The frustration starting to mount a little bit for the Bears.
Chuck, I'm tempted to say, it's early obviously, but I'm tempted to say a possible leading contender for that player of the game interview might have to be Gunnar Smith, the face-off specialist, because he's been outstanding here tonight for the Kingsmen. Meanwhile, scoring has been very balanced for Penn. As you see, he wins yet another one.
Yep, and Smith has been a key factor of one of the reasons why Penn has been able to dominate this game, because of his ability on the draws. Kingsmen behind the net, now go to Tommy Paulus. Here's Clark. Oh, he found Henderson on the doorstep for an easy one. Dean Henderson with his first of the night, his 7th of the year, off a beautiful feed here from Brooks Clark. Looking again on the John Adams High School replay.
Great pass. Looked like he was going to fire up a shot, then dumps it off. Henderson wide open right outside the crease and makes the easy shot and score to put Penn up 10-2 here with 11:26 to play in the game.
And we'll see if the face-off dominance continues here. Another face-off sponsored by Nipco. And this one collected again by Gunnar Smith. Man, he's been terrific on those tonight.
Now has won 12 out of 15 face-offs. Body Evolution Fitness and Nutrition in South Bend provides elite personal training and nutritional counseling for athletes. If you want to take your game to the next level, visit Body Evolution at 115 North Main Street in downtown South Bend.
Henderson behind the net. Been great distribution tonight by the Kingsmen. Henderson a little wide on that shot. And the ball knocked down in the zone, and it'll go to South Bend. David Nagy with it. Saul Zabukovic comes well out of the goal with the ball and lost it. He better hustle back. Nice play by Woods to golf it forward, polo style. And Zabukovic finally gets back between the pipes. Woods in front, goes wide. Brady Bauer on the side now.
I'd imagine the South Bend defense has been worn out, but how much work they've had to do with the time of possession being in Penn's favor by astronomical numbers here in this game.
And Henderson had his stick deflected as he tried to take the shot. Ball loose in front. Who's going to come away with it? It'll be Penn. Well, no, not quite. Finally, David DePalma gets it behind, back in the end zone. Zach Woods, sophomore attacker. Now the shot goes high and over the cage, and again, Penn in position to get it back. So the Kingsmen, who have struggled this season, started out 1-2, but you saw Pete Gillen at practice last night, Anj, and he insisted, we've got a really good team this year. They just looked a little rusty against Culver Academy on Wednesday night.
They haven't played in a while because of break, and just they load up the schedule more from this point forward for the rest of the year, as opposed to South Bend that played 9 games to this point in the year. He was certainly annoyed with the way they played, but he saw it coming because they had not been able to practice too much coming out of break. And maybe Wednesday night while it wasn't a great performance, got them back on track for tonight because they were able to play a game before this one on TV.
Zabukovic cleared the zone for South Bend, and the Bears have it now on the attack with Bly Johnson in control to Max Middlebrook. Meanwhile, remember, South Bend is a club team. A lot of the teams they play are teams that, quite frankly, are other club teams. Penn is considered a varsity team in the Indiana High School Lacrosse Association. They're 2A, and they have to compete with the big boys like Zionsville and Center Grove and Homestead. So don't be surprised if Kane Hoy's team rebounds from this and makes another run at the club state title later in the year.
Which they won in 2022.
And were runner-ups last year to Munster. Sam Evans looking to shoot, does, and Brady Irish comes up with a save. You know, we talked at the top, Ange, about Irish and the low save percentage, and granted, his save percentage numbers aren't going to go up a lot based on tonight, but part of it is because he's had some pretty good defense played in front of him.
Absolutely has, and now he's trying to get rid of the ball.
And does.
And somehow got that into the stick of Brooks Clark, and now it'll be South Bend ball after a violation.
But a heck of a job by Brady Irish to somehow make that pass.
But for a while, as you're saying, he had almost no shots on him for the better part of the game, really until this second half almost.
Here's Sam Evans over on the far side. Evans is knocked down, and a flag will be thrown against Nolan Murphy of Penn. And Evans a little bit slow to get up. We've got a timeout on the field. We'll take it with 7:30 to go in the contest. Timeout sponsored by Body Evolution in South Bend. It's 10-2 Penn on 46. And this edition of the 46 Game of the Week is being brought to you in part by HealthLink, your community health center. Nice move put on by Bly Johnson. Found Ben Neville in front, but Neville couldn't control the ball. And it's still loose on the ground. Brady Irish trying to cover it up. But I think it's a battle going on for it. And finally, Penn will appear to come away with it, although they're just sweeping at the ball. It's still rolling around out there. And finally, who's going to get it? South Bend.
Looked like my 3-year-old soccer practice there for a second.
Wow.
With all bodies on top of each other.
Owen McNally to Isaiah Garvey. Garvey looking to shoot. Couldn't get the stick to fire. And here's South Bend with the ball. Bly Johnson behind the net. Johnson fires and scores. Bly Johnson with his third of the night. A hat trick for the junior, who now has 25 goals on the year. This one on the John Adams High School replay.
Great job there by Johnson. They're able to convert. That's their first goal here tonight, not scored on a man-up opportunity. So great job there by Johnson. And you see the factoid brought to you by Primary Care Partners of South Bend. Bly Johnson leading the Indiana Club players with 25 goals on the year, as he's done a fantastic job for South Bend this year. If you're looking to build a new home and renovate your current home, contact Reliance. Serving Northern Indiana and Southwest Michigan, Reliance has a reputation for excellence year after year. Visit RelianceDBR.net for more info. Reliance, design, build, renovate.
And one more reminder, next week on TV 46, it's high school baseball for you from the North Fields up in South Bend. The game will be played Monday night. We'll show it Tuesday night at 9, Friday night at 11, and Saturday morning at 9 as Marion takes on St. Joe. And then as we look at the rest of the spring schedule, we have some more baseball coming up. Northridge, Mishawaka, Goshen, Northwood. That huge softball matchup in early May as Penn and St. Joe collide. And then what proved to be a big fan favorite last year, we liked it too. We'll be at the track for the Warsaw Girls Sectional and the Goshen Boys Regional coming up this spring. The face-off is sponsored by NIPCO. Gunnar Smith comes up with another one here for Penn. And then a collision, and Penn with the ball, so you have to assume the flag is going to be against the South Bend Bears. Brady Irish with the long stick fires it across. Zabukovic will scoop it up, and there's the whistle. And you'll see what happened here on the infraction on the John Adams replay.
Off the face-off, Gunnar Smith winning the face-off yet again. And then he's just drilled. So that'll be a penalty here against South Bend as a result. And it looks like we'll get a man-up situation coming up for Penn.
Ian Strasser and Teddy Swanson were the two players from South Bend involved in the collision. Strasser will come off the field here. And so Penn will be 6-on-5 for the next minute or so.
As Swanson heads to the penalty box for the infraction.
Dean Henderson starts on the far side with the ball. Carson Bays to Tommy Paulus. Attempted a scoop by Cooper Petty. Bays couldn't control it. Now does. Penn's offense has executed well tonight and distributed well. Inside, Paulus tried for the behind-the-back shot, couldn't get it, and Zabukovic will come up with it.
Pete Gillen said one of his keys was to go for singles, not homers. We don't need the flashy plays. Paul said, we're on TV, we're up 10-3, there's 6 minutes left, I'm going to try for the flashy play.
I might not get on SportsCenter as a Notre Dame football walk-on. I'll take my shot as a lacrosse player.
It didn't work, Tommy.
Bly Johnson with the ball for South Bend. Looking for Owen McNally coming off the bench. Johnson still with it at the 38.
We are back at full strength now for both teams. Good job on the penalty kill by South Bend.
Johnson fires behind the net to Nevela. South Bend will not find itself at the kind of size discrepancy that it faced tonight in too many games this year, but it is a bit of a warning sign to Kane Hoy's team as the sidearm shot by Middlebrook goes wide and South Bend will chase it down, that they're going to have to deal with size at some point. They can't just run around everybody.
The one positive is for future years, you're going to be in pretty good shape because when you look at what's on the field right now on the offensive end, there is not a single senior. It is all underclassmen. The seniors, for the most part, are on the back end for this team. 2 senior starters in the defense, a senior goalie that starts. So that's the future they want to worry about right now.
Doesn't mean that too many of these guys are going to get a lot bigger than what they are right now.
I'm just assuming they might head over to Body Evolution and get that body going.
On the run, the shot by Petty goes behind the net, but Henderson is closest to it as it goes out of bounds.
Based in Elkhart, NIPCO has been family run for 5 generations, dating back to the early 1900s. NIPCO provides systems for fire protection, HVAC, industrial, irrigation, and plumbing. Learn about employment opportunities at nipco.com. Go Kingsmen.
Another bad pass here goes out of bounds, and South Bend closest to it, so the Bears will get possession.
Imagineering Finishing Technologies in South Bend is globally known as the knowledge source for metal finishing solutions. Like the teams in this game, Imagineering is always working towards a great finish. Thank you, Imagineering, for your continued support of high school sports on TV 46.
Well, a turf monster came up and got Carson Bays. And so Isaiah Garvey controls it to David Nagy. And Nagy, whoa, he got a pretty good bump from Henderson. Long throw down the field for South Bend. Evans trying to chase it before it goes out of bounds. And did he? No. Oh, it will be South Bend ball. So let's see if the Bears can make something happen here. Trailing 10-3 with 3:10 to go. Bly Johnson with all 3 goals for the Bears tonight has the ball behind the net. Johnson looking to set up work. He's got Middlebrook on the near side, but instead Johnson goes in the middle. McNally couldn't tap it home, and here comes Penn racing the other way.
That was great defense by the Kingsmen. They just had everybody around the crease preventing McNally from having any sort of possibility to catch that ball. And now here comes that transition.
And the shot and the goal by the Kingsmen. Cooper Petty gets the goal, his first of his career, and the Kingsmen expand the lead to 11-3.
Take a look at that transition. This has been one of the strengths for Penn. They believe will be a strength all season long, and it works out to their advantage right there as he goes in for the goal to make it an 8-point lead here with 2:33 to play in the game.
Brooks Clark with his second assist to go with 2 goals tonight.
So Brooks Clark could be a contender for that player of the game as well.
Well, you're going to have to decide in the next 2:33 when you make the trip downstairs.
That is not Gunnar Smith taking the face-off there, but they still win it.
And it's sponsored by Nibco. Abe Barsonis at it, and the shot by Petty is thwarted by Zabukovic. So here come the Bears up the field, trying to get on the board again, the final 2:09 of this one. Lob behind the net, too high for Nevela. And because it was a pass and not a shot, Penn will take it over. Nolan Murphy, the senior defenseman who has played very well tonight, handles the long stick for the Kingsmen. Under 2 minutes to go in this one. Penn looking as though it will even up its record at 2-2 on the year. Joey DePalma coming up the middle of the field for the Kingsmen. DePalma with some pretty good speed. Oh, but he took a whack, and there's a flag. And the ball being kicked around in the middle of the field. Still loose on the far side. South Bend has it, and there's the whistle for the violation against Steven Stewart. And you'll get another look at what Stewart did as he just lays out Joey DePalma right there. Not a play on the ball, he just played the body, and you're not allowed to do that. So a cross-check called against Stewart will give Penn a chance for a man advantage here, already leading 11-3 with 1:28 to go. Pete Gillen's team will continue its dominance over the Bears. They will now have won 5 of 6 over South Bend in these matchups, with the first meeting all the way back in 2019. The official signaling to the press box it's a 2-minute penalty against South Bend. So let's see if Pete Gillen gets some players out there that don't normally get a chance to play. And here comes Dylan Domilewski, a freshman. Dylan's played a lot at the junior level in the Penn program. He'll still keep some of the veterans out there like Clark and Paulus. And Paulus fires and scores his third of the night. And that makes it a 12-3 Penn lead. So Penn wasting little time that time on the power play. They just go to the southpaw, Paulus, and he's got that strong sidearm shot that Zabukovic could not stop. So that'll give us another face-off. It's sponsored by Nibco. 1:21 to go in this one. A much different kind of game than the one we saw last year here at School Field between the two teams. That one was a far more even matchup. This one has been dominated by Penn from the get-go. And the Kingsmen still battling for the face-off over there. Flip it high into the air, and finally it's going to be scooped up by Penn. Abe Barsonis throws it over to the far side. Carter Good handles it up top. And he'll find Joey DePalma. So the reserves will finish this one out. Domilewski, now Good trying to corral it. But Penn with a very balanced offense tonight. Moved the ball around well, distributed it well. And Pete Gillen's got to be really pleased with what he got from his team tonight. There's a delay of game violation called on Penn, so South Bend comes the other way for the final 20 seconds. The ball knocked away from Wyatt Lichty. It'll be controlled here by Barsonis. And Penn just has to count down the final 10 seconds of this one. Barsonis throws it wide, And the ball game is all over here at Everwise School Field. The Penn Kingsmen now 2-2 on the season as they beat their arch rivals, the South Bend Bears, tonight by a final score of 12-3. Stick around. We'll hear from our post-game interview with our player of the game, and it comes your way next on the 46 Game of the Week.
Thanks for watching the WHME TV 46 High School Game of the Week, brought to you by
Penn comes into Everwise School Field and dominates the #1 club team in boys lacrosse in the state of Indiana with a 12-3 victory tonight. As we welcome you into the Reliance broadcast booth, build, design, renovate, that's Reliance. Chuck Freeby and Angelo DiCarlo high above the fray. And this one, not much different than any other sport. Penn dominates.
Bigger, stronger, maybe not faster, but it didn't matter. They were able to just dominate in every facet of the game, including on those faceoffs. They end up winning 14 of 17, and in particular, 12 of 15 from their main guy who did an excellent job, and that's why he's our player of the game.
And that's why moments ago, Anj went downstairs to chat with our player of the game, Gunnar Smith.
Gunnar, you won 12 out of 15 faceoffs here tonight. Talk to us a little bit about how you made that happen.
So at every practice, we always put in a bunch of time into our faceoffs because we think it's very important to win the faceoff because it gives us more possessions in the game, and that leads to us getting more goals and more time with the ball.
How big is this win for you guys after what happened against Culver and just being 1-2 coming into tonight to get this victory and kind of get yourselves on track?
It's really huge. It helps us get back on track and get our team motivation back up after that loss.
And obviously, what was the excitement level like for the last day or two, just getting ready to knowing that you guys were going to get the chance to play on TV?
Oh, it's really exciting to come out here and play with the Bears on this cool field and just be on TV. It's really exciting.
All right, I think we said your name as much as anybody here tonight, so congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Seems like every time we come to Everwise School Field, we see a beautiful sunset. We're getting one here tonight. Hopefully the sun not setting on this sport, though, of boys lacrosse. I think it's really starting to be on the rise here in this area. And what Pete Gillen's done with the Penn program shows that you can take athletes from other sports at a school, particularly football and hockey, and put them together on a lacrosse field and have a pretty good team.
And you have to give a lot of that credit to what's happened just north of here, right? At Notre Dame,
sure.
Winning national championship, having a great program. That puts lacrosse on the map, has allowed it to start building up, and now these teams are starting to build around here, and Penn has done an excellent job of putting together this squad in particular. As you said, a lot of guys play a lot of sports. This is maybe not their main sport, but they have a lot of fun out there. They even attempt behind-the-back shots on occasion, but it's great to see, and they're all very loose out there.
Yeah.
You could tell they're having fun, which is what high school sports is supposed to be about, and it's great to see that.
And let's not take away from what Kane Hoy is doing with the South Bend Bears either, because that's not an easy project either. You've got a club team. You've got kids coming from a number of different schools, including home schools, putting them together. You don't get a whole lot of practice time with them in their sport. These kids play other sports too, and he's done a nice job. Yes, it didn't go well for him tonight. They were outsized. They were overmatched. But when they get back to playing in their club team schedule, you see talent like what we saw from Bly Johnson tonight, who had 3 goals, and you say, this is a team that can compete at the state club level.
Absolutely. As we mentioned, they were state champions 2 years ago, state runner-up last year. They're 7-3 on the season. Yes, they played Penn, but it's no different than when we see in other sports. You're seeing a Marion or St. Joe go against Penn. They might not win those games very often, but then they make deep playoff runs because of facing that great competition, and that's what South Bend's got to take out of this, especially with a team that only has 4 seniors on the squad.
This is a rivalry. We'll have another one for you next week, too. This one on the baseball diamond when Marion and St. Joe collide. Our thanks to our TV 46 crew. It was good to see the boys back in action tonight, including our production manager, Dean Korsmo, and our usual talented cast of people that bring such passion to high school sports each and every week. A reminder, next week, we're with you Tuesday night at 9 p.m. from the Northfields in South Bend, where Marion and St. Joe renew their rivalry on the baseball diamond, and we'll also show it to you Friday night at 11 and Saturday morning at 9. Don't forget, this is the first of 7 weeks of spring sports for you on TV 46. A reminder to continue to follow us on social media at Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Now for Angelo DiCarlo, it's Chuck Freebie. Once again, the final, Penn 12, South Bend 3. So long from South Bend.